the net. This is a beast. So I have made it to the pond I'm going to be fishing today. Now, like usual, I did kind of want to get here a couple hours ago, but I woke up a little late this morning, but I'm here nonetheless. This pond I'm about to fish, I only fish it a couple times a year because you have to load up all your stuff at the boat launch here and then park like a quarter of a mile down the road and walk back. In my opinion, it's definitely worth it because there are some big largemouth and smallmouth in this pond here. And this spot is tough to fish as well. There's not really a lot of structure that you can visibly see. Everything is kind of offshore, and with no electronics at all on my kayak, it does get kind of difficult to target them sometimes. But I'll kind of tell you guys how I go about fishing a clear body of water like this with no electronics. As you guys can tell, I kind of already have everything packed up, so I need to get to stepping. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I think you guys can. The water here is pretty clear. I don't know. Maybe that's better. The water here is pretty clear, and I usually get about that 10 foot of visibility. And that's typically where I target on places like this. I go until I can't see the bottom anymore, and then I just kind of work that shoreline that distance away from the bank. Because on sunny, bright days like this where there's not a lot of chop on the water, you're not going to find the bass up in like 2 feet of water in super clear water like this with no structure. Typically they hang out in that deeper area where they're safe from birds. All right, first things first, let's retie from the pike fishing day I had on the Connecticut River the other day. That's why I still have this big inline spinner on. Take out a bunch of line only because this inline spinner got caught up on a bunch of weeds when I was using it, and it gave my line really bad line twist. Jig I'm going to be using is 1/2 ounce from Tween Tackle. The color is called Tennessee Craw. Just going to trim the skirt up a little bit. Very Yamamoto Flappin' Hog on a Kayak tungsten jig is one of my favorite combos, but it's going to work just fine on this Queen Tackle jig. I actually call that jig the cheater jig, and I don't take credit for that at all. I watched a video from Greg Blanchard, and that's what he was using, a Kayak jig with a Gary Yamamoto Flappin' Hog on the back of it, and I just thought that combination looked amazing, so I had to copy him. Can't see the bottom, so let's just start fishing here, and what we're going to do is just kind of parallel our way around the shoreline here and kind of stay in that 12-ish foot range. Not only that, like if I were to go fish shallow, it's about a foot in sandy on my right side there, so that's fish aren't going to be there. Didn't even turn on the rear view camera yet. Hopefully it's all right. It was being kind of weird. But there we go. Now I have that rear facing camera. Usually too, people have docks out here. They usually put them out in June. It's only May right now. But usually by like June, July, everybody has their docks out. So it kind of gives like an obvious kind of waypoint around this lake in about 10 feet of water. It looks like one person has their dock out, but that's one of the more shallow ones. But either way, we're just going to keep working down here, and I might switch to a Ned rig or a jerkbait after. I don't know. go. Gonna jump, gonna jump. Back down he goes. Pulling me hard. I don't know what it is. Pulling me hard though. Ooh, good largie. Good largie. Ooh, let's go. Wow, my heart's beating fast. I didn't think I could catch up to him. He hit it and came right at me. I don't know if you guys saw me reeling like a madman. Oh, just popped right out. Okay. Not a bad one right there. All right, cool. All right, that's easily a 3-pound fatty right there on the jig. Let's go. Cool. Giving up on the jig, that is for sure, but what I think I'm gonna do for right now is switch over to a drop shot. I'm gonna be using a 4.5 inch fat straight tail worm in a morning dawn red flake color, and the rocks start all the way up in like 3 foot of water over there, and you can see them all the way down in 10 feet. Because I don't have any electronics or stuff like that, I have to assume that that rock pile extends all the way out into like 20-30 feet out here. All right, switching back to the 1/2 ounce jig. Switch up from the jig back to the drop shot. There we go. No, dude, what am I doing? What am I doing? That felt very nice. But of course, instead of just worrying about catching the fish, I'm like, oh, let me mess with him. Why did I do that? My drag was fine. Man. All right, so I've been fishing now for about 2 hours, and just that one bass, and then I did miss that one fish on the drop shot. Unfortunately, was completely my fault. I don't know why I messed with my drag. I do that like every time. But let's stick with this drop shot just for the time being. Oh yeah, there we go. In the net. All right. All right, cool. I had this smallie hooked, I don't know, 3 times before it finally bit. But let's just put it right back. Oh, this feels like an absolute giant. I'm not messing with my drag this time. I am not messing with my drag this time. Oh! Get out of here. Oh. Oh. I'm not messing with my drag. This is a beast. This is a beast. On the drop shot, boys. Ooh, let's go. Oh, yeah. Look at this beast. Look at this one. Not bad at all. Cool. Oh. Feisty. Alright, so I've been fishing now for about 3 hours, and I have quite a few good fish to show for it. Alright, you know what? Alright, I think I'm just going to fish like I normally do and not specifically target shallow. I'm just going to go back with this jig here and go down this shoreline. Now I might skip part of this shoreline. I typically don't ever do that well along this shoreline, but we'll just kind of play it by ear. Missed him, man. Got him that time. Gotta handline him. Gotta handline him. God, what a tank on the handline. Had to handline this fish and my handle kind of exploded on me. But what a nice bass again. Look at that. It's another 3-pounder. Honestly, not the biggest deal in the world anyway. I do have a backup handle I could use, but I think I'm going to use this as an excuse to go onto Amazon or eBay and buy a Gomexus handle. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm going to switch over to the drop shot for a little bit. Then when it gets a little bit deeper and less grassy, I'll switch up probably back over to the jig. But for right now, we're just going to keep this drop shot on. Oh, first cast. Not messing with my drag. Oh. How are you not? First cast on the drop shot, just a little pit. Alright, so that is it for today. And overall, I think I did actually pretty good today. I was pleasantly surprised about the quality of bass I caught today. Now, I'm not 100% sure if all the bass I caught today were on beds. I'm pretty sure that smallmouth was. But all the largemouth I caught, I didn't even see if they were on a bed or not. And honestly, I ended up doing pretty good with it. I put a Gary Yamamoto flapping hog on the back of it, and I think in watermelon magic color. And I caught a few fish on this jig, and then I also caught a few fish on the drop shot as well. And on this drop shot, I just had a 4.5-inch robo worm in morning dawn red flake color. Now, I did throw the Ned rig for a little bit. Absolutely nothing on the Ned rig other than that one smallmouth. I threw the jerkbait right at the end for a little bit. Nothing on that, but to be fair, I didn't really give the jerkbait a fair chance. I only used it for about 20 minutes. With that being said, I gotta get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace.